So what I want to say is, number one, I want to just enjoy this moment because I think the team performed very, very well. I think the guys understood, we've been kind of looking at the standings and watching teams, that are fighting for playoff position lose games. And the challenge for this group today was to take that challenge in their own hands and come out with a good performance and 3 points. And I believe that was the case. They did everything that we asked them to do. And so I'm very happy about that, and I'm going to enjoy this moment. But it's a little bit of a sad day for me because I understand that there was some, people leaving. I understand the conflict, and I don't want that to affect the performance of the team. And so the last thing I'll say on this topic is, look, I'm an ECS member. I'm a guy who fights for the team. There's a lot of guys here that this is an issue that I hope that both sides can find a solution. Because I don't like to see that end of the stadium empty. I think we have the greatest fans, the best fan support, maybe not numerically because of Atlanta, but this club is the relationship between the fans and the players, and I don't want that to stop. So that's what I want to say on it.
Turn it over to you guys for questions. I think I saw you first, Mark.
So both Red Bulls goals came from very sort of similar transitions and across from outside of the box. What was your overall thoughts on the defensive performance and the goals that you conceded?
Well, what we've talked about, what we've messaged is to be, a hard team to beat, not giving up soft goals. I don't know if I'd call the goals soft, but there are certain objectives, there's certain defending skills, tactics, however you want to call it, blocking crosses. When the second ball, a lot of times goals are scored on the second ball, so you end up, giving up a corner kick or a free kick wide, and then the ball comes back out, and we reset. Do you step high enough? As you step, do you know where your marker, the guy you're supposed to mark is? So there is a little bit of both of those things in there, a little bit of individual, a little bit of tactical stuff that we will obviously continue to address because, look, Zlatan scored a couple goals on us. We've given up a couple other goals like that. So, overall defensively, I thought we were okay. But, certainly, we don't want to make it a habit of, giving up 2-3 goals, especially at home.
Gina?
You played Jordan on the left side again. I think it's like the third game. Do you think you would keep him over there because he seems to be performing well on that side?
We'll look at it. I mean, we have to reintegrate Victor Rodriguez into the team. So Jordan was pretty effective the first game of the year. I think he got a couple goals or goal and assist. So he can play both sides of the field. We'll take a look at that and, we'll make a good decision.
Jeremiah?
Yeah, how concerned are you that this is the second home game in a row where you had a 2-0 lead, couldn't hold it, ultimately win both games obviously, but is that a concerning trend for you?
It is concerning, Jeremiah. Very concerning, actually. And okay, so Mark asked a question about, how the goals manifested themselves and all that sort of stuff. And it's not just, you're not just looking at the defending side of the game. It's like in that first 15 minutes of the second half, we needed to control tempo of the game. Some of our possessions that we lost or we were afraid to play, and, it was, I think it was half and half. You can't always blame the defenders for giving up goals. You gotta spread the responsibility to both sides of the ball. And I think what we're going to try and do and look at is figure out a way how we message the group and figure out a way to give them the tools to, when they go up 2-0, how do we change tactics? What are we doing next? What's the next phase of our game? And that's what us coaches were talking about on the sideline as that second half was unfolding.
Moss?
Having said that, on the offensive end of it, it seems like you're getting more than one or two guys running towards the ball and the goal, because that you don't score 4 goals just one way, you know.
But you know, there's a difference there. Yeah, the guys have been very effective. But again, to Jeremiah's point, I want the team to be able to, at 2-0, dictate the tempo of the game to, A, limit your opponent's chances, and then B, this team is good enough to score 3-4 goals a game. We have the talent. So we got to find that balance in there.
Matt?
Jordan had some good moments in 2016, but is he playing about as well right now as you've seen? And how does his sort of recent form impact the rest of your team?
Well, it's certainly, you know, we talk about it internally, you know, and maybe I might have mentioned it to him. You know, he's scaring people. I mean, he's scaring defenders. I mean, when he collects the ball, whether it's out on wide on the touchline or in the little pockets in midfield, and he turns and he starts running at guys, I mean, guys are afraid of him. So it helps because then the defense starts backing off and Raul gets more space, and Nico, when he has the ball at his foot and can play the ball into Jordan into space, I mean, it's been really effective for the entire group.
Mickey?
Victor Rodriguez obviously got some decent minutes. How would you assess his performance?
Good. I mean, the expectations were there just to, you know, get him a feel for the game, the speed of the game, the tempo of the game, but then, you know, it comes on. I know it was a deflected goal, but, you know, he and Brad had a good partnership early on in the year. And, you know, we'll keep building minutes on him to make sure that he's ready for the playoffs.
Nico?
You mentioned that relationship between the fan base and the club, and I know you've already made a statement on it, but how worrisome is it that, you know, fans are being asked to leave the stadium because of that iron flag?
I said what I said. Both sides need to try and, you know, find a solution to the conflict. I support both sides. I see both sides. Somehow we have to address this, and I still say that we have the best fans. You know, I appreciate all the stuff that the fans have done for me over the years, so I'm just hoping they can solve it.
Did you and the team feel that void of silence when things happen?
We were too into the game. I mean, we hear the fans. We certainly hear the fans, but, you know, when I'm in the game, sometimes you got to block that stuff out.
Steven?
You had some notice about the protest in Portland and could kind of inform the players ahead of time, but this happened all at once. Just how jarring was that?
It's not jarring. Those guys dealt with it. We won 4-2. It's too bad that everybody, the family, our fans, didn't get to enjoy all of it.
Follow-up for you guys? That's rare. Yeah, Miles?
Yeah, I just want to go back to that point about finding the balance in terms of the defenders and then turning out the offense. Is that more ball control when you're up 2-0? Is that going to take kind of slowing the game down, making more passes in the middle?
Well, it can go both ways. So what I need them to do is feel the confidence that at 2-0, the game's done. That when, you know, Kim Ki-hee opens up, he gets the ball, he's confident enough to play close to his goal, or Javier, or Brad Smith, or Kelvin under pressure, or Gustav in front on top of the 18, that they have the confidence that they can play. Yeah, give me the ball, because I know I'll be able to spin, find the next pass. That's what I'm talking about. If we take if Steph catches a cross and he throws the ball out to Nico Ladero, and Nico Ladero plays the ball to Jordan Morris and he runs in and scores, ain't nobody's going to complain about that. And we're playing fast. That doesn't mean we slow the tempo to a point where we don't take advantage of the opportunities based on the talents of our players. So we got to just kind of, when the timing's right, yeah, you're always looking forward. And if the pass is on, I want them to play forward. But if it's not on, then let's keep it a little bit. Let's bring it back and go out the other side.
Ari?
Yeah, you've had Christian higher up the field these last few games. It seems like he's been active there, getting on the stat sheet a little more. What have you just made of how he's adapted to that midseason tactical shift?
Well, he played there, you know, last year. Again, when Ozzy and Gustav were in the middle of the park, we had Christian out there. I don't think it's a foreign, strange position for him. It actually highlights some of his ability. You watch when, you know, looks like the guy's even with Christian, and a lot of times the guy with the ball is slower. Christian with the ball still can get past people. His movement from a deeper position a couple times in the first half when he got in behind. I mean, he can play that position. He's very effective at it.
Mickey, you have one as well?
Yeah, regarding the Red Bulls and their press, they didn't seem to press as much in the game. Did that surprise you, and what do you make of their decision on the defensive side?
Well, Chris does a good job. I mean, he inherited a team that presses, how he wants to press, when, what are the triggers. You know, that's something that he needs to think about. I wasn't surprised. I mean, we watched enough on film. I mean, again, all of us coaches, we watch enough film that, you know, we knew there was times when they pressed, you know, you'd have to ask him for the visual cues as to when they really start their high press.
Jay, did you have one still?
Yeah, I think just for clarification, when you were talking about the way that you guys began the second half, but that's also at the same time when the walkout kind of happened too. Did that play a part?
It didn't have anything to do with it.
Brad Smith back today in the 11. What were your thoughts on his performance?
Good. I mean, I am blessed. I don't know if Garth did that on purpose or not, but you know, I got 3 left backs that are really good. So happy to have them all on the team.